What's up, peoples? Oh boy. Oh shit. Oh, where I be waking up so early in the morning? Hey, listen. Let me share something with you, man. You know, uh, sometimes, man, you go through certain things. Listen. First of all, let me just say something right quick. If you already went through your trials and went through your shit, and you came out of it, and and you living in your heaven, let another motherfucker talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, why y'all be putting motherfuckers down and shit um, you know, that's, that's able to express it and articulate that shit. You see, that's all we doing is trying to articulate our shit out loud. That's all that shit is. You see, you know. I mean, if it's not for you, scroll down. You see, or scroll up. If it's not for you, you see, shit. I mean, if you ain't never went through it, especially if you ain't never went through it and shit. But listen, man, listen. Sometimes there are brothers like myself out here that we prevented ourselves from going to the penitentiary. We prevented ourselves um, from dying. You see, you know, with some toe to toe shit. You know, trigger shit. We prevented ourselves. You see, there was something in us that made us turn around, and you can you can see now as time went on, and you start developing in your understanding and your wisdom of based on that environment. Um, you can call it a higher conscious, however it may be. Down here in the gutter, they got a higher conscious too and a lower conscious. I want you to know that. You see, in every environment you go, there's two poles, niggas. Um, but um, but yeah, it's like it's you prevent yourself from acting out. Can you imagine bearing witness to something and everything was already set for you to do something? I mean, I'm talking about certain things that just they shouldn't be there, but they are. During the time that you ran into something that fucked you up internally, you see, like you don't have no option. I mean, whatever this shit was that ran through you, something was already right there prepared for you to do something to somebody else, and you halted that shit. You see, I mean, and the things that went through your heads, like you already just saw what you was going to do. You saw it. You saw the outcome. You saw how you was gonna move, how you was gonna get away, or whatever. You saw all these things in your head, but you didn't act them out. And it happened again, and then another time, and you saw it, but you didn't act them out, and you just turned around. Just imagine if you weren't supposed to be here. You were supposed to be killed, or you were supposed to die, or you were supposed to be in a penitentiary for the rest of your life. You see, and you didn't take the bait. So, what is fate? What is fate? How did you escape it? How did you, when you really didn't escape it? because it's another type of death that people be experiencing. You know, I'm experiencing it right now. I don't know if I'm alive or dead. You see, it's like I'm wealthy in a motherfucker. You see, but it's like I can't even say I'm stuck. It's like, just like I saw that shit, it's like I know that there's a root, there's a beginning. It's like I know what I need to do to start, to start moving and start getting this housing together. You know what I'm saying? Developing the strength in my legs and stuff, because I got this rod and shit and got the rod in my arm. But just developing your strength, you see, instead of riding bikes and shit. You see, that's cool too, but there's other things that you can do to develop it, quicker. Um, but for some reason, it's like it's you visualize the things that's at the gym, and you mock create those things here at the house, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You get weights and shit, all this other type of shit. There's a facility right up the street. You see, a sports center, and you know, and I can go in that motherfucker for free. You see, it's just it's it's heavy, man. It's heavy. It's like, just imagine if you had just imagine if you had a genuine spirit that was around you, meaning a genuine person that was around you, right? And they was favored in the spirit. I have to talk like this because that's all I know. And they were favored in the spirit, right? And so you were around them, and you were protected by nature. So they got an added bonus, you see. But since they're since since they are favored in their protection, their intuition or their foreknowledge would help people like myself. You see, it'll help people like myself to move in a certain way. You see, because you gain in trust, some type of trust. You see, you get it's some type of trust that you gain in the person. You see, you know, it's like it's like sometimes, man, you already did. It's like you already got all the maps. You got them all written out in your head on how you gonna move. You see, but it's like finances. It takes money to do a lot of shit. You see, it takes money to do a lot of stuff. And your concern is it's basically money. You see, it's basically money. I wouldn't be in this position if I had a vehicle. You see, I mean, motorbikes are cool, but it ain't nothing like having a motherfucking pickup truck. You know, I'm talking about like just a rusty. You see what I'm saying? You know, with a good transmission, brakes, and engine and shit. You see, and decent interior. Fuck the body. You know, I'm just saying though, man. You see, it's like last time I had a car was the year 2001. Yeah, drive the last time I had a vehicle. Just imagine that, man. Last time, man. Out of all those years I was driving, never to get into a car again. So that's over 20 something years that I was without a car, a vehicle. 20 something years. That is wild. I don't have an ID. I still have a license. I go renew my license because I believe I'm going to get another car. I don't know. That's how I am with a lot of shit. It's like I got everything. You see, I just people on like on these social medias, I'll be hearing them saying, people say, you got to manifest, you got to think about it, you got to be around people and shit like that. I don't, what people? I don't know nobody. I don't know nobody. And the way I look, people ain't gonna accept me anyway. You have to be already. You have to, like you going to an interview and shit when you're around motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? Shit, you do. You gotta, because I mean nowadays you got men be looking at you up and down too, like the women used to do. You know, yeah, men be doing that shit, and that shit is uncomfortable. It is, man. It's uncomfortable when you see a man and he looking you up and down, looking at your wares and all the other type of shit. I hear myself from that shit. I don't want to be around it because I just don't want to respond to it. I don't understand it. You see, it's a lot of things that I don't understand, man. Brother, other day, man, I saw him, man, when I was on my bike and shit. He was riding his bike. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you ride your bike, you go through a bus, and you go through a bus stop and you just sit right there and shit because you're tired as a motherfucker getting your legs. If you ever see a man in your city and he got his bike and he's just sitting on a bus stop, that motherfucker just been rolling about 20, 40 miles. Trust me, he did. I'm just letting you know. Nah, man, you just sit back and you conversate, with your brother, man, and that's how I be talking sometimes with cats and shit. On my, every blue moon you see somebody, you see however it may be, and you just talk to them, man. But oh man, that's all. That's all I'm saying, man. It's like you just you prevented yourself from death. I guess you can call it that, death or the penitentiary. I mean, I can still see how I was supposed to go. You see, I can still see how I was supposed to go. You see, and it bothers me because it's like it's an imprint. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it's like an imprint in my head. Like damn. But what prevented me, what made me turn around, is there also. You see, and you sitting up here like it's like you in a whole different world. I said that to my sister a while back. It's like I feel like I'm in a whole different world. It feels like I did die. You see, that's what it feels like. It feels like I did pass away. You see, that's what it feels like. It's like you died. Something in you died. You see.